stepped on the brakes, and while I was driving, the floor pan went down, and I went with it. It's pretty cool.
Still jamming out to the music.
Just Google offensive T-shirts. There you go.
I was a skinny little punk kid that wasn't having too much luck with the ladies. So.
I need to drink now, you guys.
We had grown up watching Luis Santiago. How can we not? How can we not want to be on TV? How are you talking about?
I'm still jamming out to the music.
I am not going to ask about the hat.
We're already in the dumpster. We're what, 4 minutes in?
I think it was a 93 Toyota Corolla. Back when that was my first car when I was 14 years old. I didn't even have a license.
Really?
No lie, maybe 6 months later, I had the whole suspension, motor.
What's your worst TV experience doing Garage Cut?
Do you want me to just come back next week and do another podcast? We ain't got time.
A Puerto Rican guy with a 68 Charger, come on.
I'm just saying. Awesome.
If you've never heard of LaGrange, ZZ Top did a song about LaGrange. So
That's the reason why I know it.
That's right.
I'm not going to worry about it. I know it's in Texas.
So,
When you pull into town, the sign says they got a lot of nice girls.
Still jamming. Good evening. Thank you for stopping by for another installment of Three Lefts Don't Make a Right. My screen's going all funky. I don't know what's going on, so I'm just going to keep going like I don't know. But anyway, tonight we have Randall Bates. Now, you don't know who Randall is, but if you've been to SEMA, Randall works for SEMA. He works for the ARMO side of it, which, don't quote me on it, it's like the OE stuff. But we're going to find out exactly what ARMO is, because I feel it's important for us to know. And we'll talk a little bit about SEMA. We'll talk about Randall in general, because, well, you know, he's a crayon eater. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to go with. Who knows where it's going to go? So just hang on. Enjoy the ride. Next, John's going to come in, and we're going to see a commercial. So, Ken, hit the commercial.
The deals at John Kennedy Subaru were so great, we had to investigate.
Where'd you get this car?
Right here at John Kennedy Subaru.
Well, who sold it to you?
A guy with a mustache, about 6'2".
Snap out of it, rookie.
You don't have to be a detective to track down a great deal. Uncover your next vehicle at John Kennedy Subaru. Enjoy your ride.
This fucking commercial just makes me laugh every time. I need to get a mustache like that and do the show.
Why not, right?
God. So what are you doing, man?
Impala stuff.
How's it coming?
Went to Carlisle Thursday. Started raining Friday night. I was in and out. Stopped in and saw Dale from Cars Inc. And Tori set it up. He gave me a pretty good price on stuff. I bought a bunch of things. I actually rented a cargo van from Enterprise for $59, loaded it up, and headed home.
Really?
Could have used the truck, but I thought, hauling the wind and everything, sheet metal and light, and with the rain, I just figured, it's easier just put the miles on something else. You know what I mean?
Well, and when you turn it in, someone's going to use it to move out of Philly. So
Yeah. Yeah, it
So,
wasn't
I
a
mean,
bad band. It had 12,000 miles on it. It was nice, but Carlisle was good. It was, the usual.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some junk up there. I did see, I don't know if you saw, I posted that 58 Chevy truck the guy was trying to sell.
Yeah.
Nice looking truck. Up close, had a lot of personality. It was, it had a lot of patina. Really rustic, all original other than the front end.
Yeah.
As far as the drivetrain and everything. But I hit him up. He wanted 13 grand for it. I hit him up like, what are you doing as far as the price? He came back. He said, you thinking 10? I'll sell it for 10. I'm thinking 7.
Yeah.
But I found out he's from Iron City, Pittsburgh.
That's Pittsburgh, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah. He's Iron City Garage.
Oh, yeah.
So I hit him up. I was like, yeah, we're 2 peas in a pod. I don't think we could do business together because I was looking to, hack the guy, pull the carpet out from under him. And he's a sales guy, so it wasn't going to work.
It wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. But he kept hit me up. And I'm thinking, that it would be a good project, but I got my hands full with the Cheech and Chong car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I got the new door, floors, hood from Dale. Seat cushions, I hung a door yesterday, stripped the quarter down, welded all the molding holes up in the quarter. Of course, what I like is there's no holes in the new door. The only thing I don't like is you can see I got the blue tape at the hinge.
Yep.
The plate that floats at the bottom hinge inside the door.
Yeah.
Is welded too far inboard, so you can't push the edge of the door in without popping the bracket that holds that plate off.
Yep.
And moving it. Even when it's all the way swung in, the hole for the bolt is in the center of the window. So you can't kick it in as far as it should be. It's put together wrong.
Right.
Outside of that, it's a really nice reproduction. And what I like too is that, it's coated inside and out, where the originals are just painted on the outside. They didn't dip those things.
Right.
So realistically, that door is going to outlast that car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I got the other side in polyester. I'm working down this side. I'm hoping by tomorrow I got this side in polyester. So that's the goal. But I had my buddy Chris stop out. He went to Carlisle with me. He stopped out Saturday, I think, Sunday, and roughed out the floor. I got to get new braces, and then I got to start,
Were the braces bad?
See the hole in the back there, the drain plug, just past that at the heel of the back floor, there's a brace. That one was weak. And when we took it apart, after pulling the floor out of it, it was shot. So I called Dale today and got both left and right because they're about the same.
Right.
It doesn't look bad until you put pressure on it. Then it wasn't really doing anything. It was just for looks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ordered the console. I'm going to try to figure out where that shifter goes. ShiftWorks makes a shifter for the 4L80.
Mm-hmm.
Ties right in, cable, has the overdrive indicator. I feel bad because you see the console. I mean, there's switches, and I'm getting a brand new console and boogering it up. You know what I mean? And the door too. If you go back to that one, I bought a brand new door to make it look like shit when I'm done. The Cheech and Chong, the one with Cheech is what I was talking about, Ken. The side shot of the movie. But I got to make that thing look old, and there's primer where the SS molding goes. So, there's no door handle. It actually has a latch at the top for a padlock because he couldn't lock the door. I got the antennas. I got pretty much everything. So I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but I think I'm going to go with 17s, like I was telling you.
Yeah, yeah.
There's 17s on there now, and I think that looks good in the whole. And I was actually surprised there's 17s.
Yeah,
I thought there were 15s.
Got a decent sized wheel well. The back has got, it's like it's ready for a fender skirt, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, I got the skirts. I'm just not using them.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's
cool,
yeah.
Don't forget, you got to make the antennas different angles.
Yeah, I know. I believe me, I'm going out of my way to make it look a little ghetto. And I haven't found the mud flaps yet. You know, I haven't really, they're actually hard to get. I've been searching and searching, haven't seen a good set.
Really?
Yeah, you get them, but they're newer looking. They're not the old mud flaps.
Crazy.
So
I would have thought that. Well,
that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I've
that's
been searching.
crazy.
If somebody sees them, let me know.
Shit.
So, but yeah, I posted. I put a couple pictures up on Instagram the other day, and Paris Chong, Tommy Chong's kid, liked the picture.
Cool.
So he knows what's happening. You know?
Yeah.
I called it the sticky green love machine. This way I don't have any people coming down on me because mine's just a little different than the love machine. Somebody asked me, is it trademark? Can you use that name?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it's all for adult toys. It's not for a car. So I think I'm okay. Adam and Eve may knock on the door and go, what are you building? Hustlers Club. Yo, what's up? No, I'm good, really. I got the fur. I got everything. You know, it's all good. What are you working on?
I started working on my 91 S10, the one that I started years ago, and my son pissed me off, so I just stopped because he was the one driving it at the time, and he didn't want to learn how to drive a stick. So I told him I wasn't going to build it.
Yeah.
So it's in the shop, and I started doing a 3-link on it like most guys do on S10s, but I don't like it. So I'm going to take those 2 top brackets off.
Yeah.
And do a triangulated 4-bar. And if you look up against the back of the cab, there's a piece of tubing that's bent up. I'm going to use that for my brace, and then I'll make some other bracing, my cross member. I mean, then I'll make some bracing, bend some stuff up, and then I'll do a triangulated 4-bar on it. And I think it'll be better at the end of the day. I just don't like the 3-link. And then I cut all the bracketry out in between the rails, and I evened up the rails because the bottom was fatter than the top. So I drew a line, measured it all out, cut both sides out so they're even. I'm going to box where I need to box and paint it all, do all that stuff. So that's what I'm going to do.
What size tire is that? Looks like you got some meat on the back of that.
It's an 18. It's the same size tire. I think it's a 245 45 18. It's the tire that they put on the Challengers when they reintroduced it like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That would be the rear tire.
Yeah.
And that rear end is a Chevy 12-bolt truck rear end. So
that's gonna be nice.
It's a driver.
We got 4-cylinder in it.
It's got a 6-cylinder in it.
What are you doing? You're never gonna need all that rubber.
Well, I always do whatever I build, I always do the suspension work first. Because if I keep it long enough, it's gonna get a V8 in it. So I just do the suspension work first. The front's lowered. It's got 17s on the front. And I mean, it's got tubular arms, everything. It's done. So I'm going to do the rear and then get the bed so it all fits, get it all done. And in that way, if I decide to get rid of it, because I want to start doing my dad's truck, my 73 square body.
Yeah.
So if I get that, if I get that done, I might just sell it with the V6 in it. But then all you got to do is pull out the engine and tranny and stab a V8 in it. You know what I mean? And it's done.
Yeah.
I'm thinning the herd. That's what I'm doing. I'm thinning the herd because I really want to get back in my Suburbans, and I really want to get back into my into my square body trucks, because I got 4 square body trucks at the house and 4 square body Suburbans.
Got to get crack-a-lacking.
Exactly. So I mean, I got to get rid of. The way I'm looking at it, I got to give up my red S10, which has got 450,000 some odd miles on it. Yeah. And then, the 91 it's a square body S10. It's the only reason why it's still holding on. It's a square body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Yeah. And then Ken's got a picture of my biggest fan. There
you go.
Notice the shirt. Everybody loves a square.
There you go. It's a cute kid.
Yeah. It's Allie Mae.
Yeah.
Well, look, let's get going. Let's get Randall on here. Let's get him on and beat him up and have him tell us what ARMO really does, because nobody really knows. You know,
Yeah, and we
everybody
talk
knows
about
SEMA.
SEMA all the time. I mean, we're always asking you. We're always talking about SEMA. You going? What are you doing? There he is.
Right.
What's
Well, I
going
mean,
on, man?
but like, you know, like everyone says, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who knows what ARMO is, so that's why Randall's here.
All right. Before you get started, you're gonna get my ass fired. I don't work for SEMA. All right. I am a volunteer. All right. I work for Auto Custom Carpet. I'm a sales guy.
Well, then Randall, you're not going to get fired if you're a volunteer. I mean, what's
I'm gonna get fired from ACC.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
It's all good, man. All right. So all right. First off, the square bodies. They're bringing ridiculous amount of money right now, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hang on to that shit. God.
Yes.
You know,
And I got 4 Suburbans and 4 pickups. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been a fan of them. I've always liked them. My dad had a 76. It was a New Jersey Department of Transportation vehicle that he bought. But before that, my father had a 68 3-door Suburban. So I grew up with Suburbans.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing all the trends that the way they change and stuff through the industry and all the stuff and the amount of money that the square bodies change. Oh, God, man. I go to all the Carlisle and Charlotte shows, all this stuff, and I look at all the car corrals when I'm walking through there. I'm like, God, man, it's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, if Lou builds it, puts his name on it, he get a good amount of money for it.
I know. Look how handsome he is. He ought to put his face on the grill.
Settle down,
man. You know, add another digit to the end of it.
So you know what? Actually, tell everybody what you do at ACC before we get into the rest.
All right. Auto Custom Carpet, ACC. I'm the sales guy. We're the only company left actually doing the molded carpet. I know there was Kent jumped in, but molded carpet for all the cars. So every car you see out there, not OEM stuff, but the every aftermarket carpet. You know, we do all the carpets for, you know, name dropping Classic Industries, Long Motor Parts, CJ Pawnee Parts, Eckler's, MPD, all those guys out there. That's all the carpet they carry. That's what we manufacture. We mold all those carpets. We do probably, 1,600, 1,600 units every day shipping out the door. That's every single day shipping out.
So there's no one else that does carpets? Molded carpets?
No, that's how I came to work for them. I've been working for ACC 16 years now. 16 years now. They bought my old company out that I used to work for. The ACC just have this tendency to buy people out. And so, you know, Ken Howell's the president of the company. Best boss, by the way, best boss I ever worked for in my life. He's a doggone good guy. He's a really good guy. But you know, he has came up with a great strategy and stuff like he's a good guy, you know. So and he's built a monster of a company, good, and I'm fortunate to work for him, stuff like that. So you say I'm jockeying for a raise right now too. So,
Randall, where are you based out of? Where's home base?
All right, so I live in Dalton, Georgia, North Georgia, close to Chattanooga. My office is in Oxford, Alabama. So from my house to my office, it's 2 hours and 15, 20 minutes, something like that.
Wow.
That's one way and then drive back and stuff. So, but
Dalton is the hometown for Linda Vaughn.
Exactly. I saw her up in Pigeon Forge. We're friends. And I'm lucky enough to be friends with her. But it was funny is I was at the Honey Baked Ham for lunch and she walks and we got to sit down and had lunch together, you know, right here in town. You know, so
cool.
Very nice.
She's got some stories. She has some stories.
I bet half of them she won't even say it. You know, so
we had her on. She had technical difficulties, but we were trying to make it work. But yeah, she knows everybody.
She really does. She really does.
Yeah.
Do you make a carpet for 1980 Ford Fairmont?
Probably so. We really got like 20,000 different applications.
Good God, man.
Yeah, we do it all. They do pretty good, man. They do pretty good there. So
yeah. I didn't know that you guys were the only ones. I really didn't. That's nuts.
Yeah, we bought the last company out. You know, I mean, it's a good position to be. It ain't never going to last, through the years, somebody, the void in the market's going to, do something like that. But then that's
me and John are going to start a carpet company now, and then you can buy us out. That's the plan.
Go ahead, do it.
Yeah, with all our motivation and enthusiasm. 2 old guys now are going to get off the rock. We run our mouths. That's about it. After that, we're done. We're going to take a nap right after the show. That's how we roll. Randall, talk about SEMA. How'd you get involved with it? And talk about ARMO and what's the mission statement? What do they do? What's the purpose? And how?
Okay. So how I got involved in it. All right. So I don't know if you know Alex Tanch. He used to work for Soft Seal, RPUI, all those companies like that. He's been around a little bit. One night we were out at SEMA show, and I had to work the SEMA show, and we couldn't find our crates. And it was like in the middle of the night. I mean, it was a Friday night after the SEMA show. He was working for another company, and I was the only one. And so it's just he and I in the whole hall. You've been out to the SEMA show.
It's massive.
Yeah. And all you see is them forklifts running back and forth. And I didn't know him from Adam's apple, really. Just like, shook hands with him, so like that. So it was just ours. They had lost our crates. So we made us a damn duct tape football. And we started playing football in the middle of the damn hall at 2:00 in the morning at SEMA. And he had volunteered for ARMO. And next thing you know, I'm volunteering for ARMO. I was just like a member at large, kind of like, I was helped set up some of the banquet stuff and just talk to people and things like that. And then another guy, Trey Smith, asked me to run for it. He's with H&H Classic Cars out of Arkansas, Bentonville, Arkansas. He's president of that company. And so he wanted, just to volunteer because I was already at all of the functions.
Right.
So volunteered. Next thing you know, I'm chairman now of it. So I'm fortunate enough to do that. I don't know what the hell they saw in me. I'm not a good leader or anything like that. I'm like, hey, where do you want to go drink at today? That's where I do that. All right.
So what does ARMO do in relationship to the show? Because I mean they're part of SEMA, right?
Yes. All right. So SEMA, the big organization of SEMA, they've got all these different councils. Tire and Wheel Council, the Professional Restyling, and then you got ARMO, and that's the Automotive Restoration Market Organization. And what we focus on is putting cars back, not concourse grade or anything like that, but like, John, you were talking about Cars Inc., Dale. I know Dale very well. All right, it's those kind of companies right there that make our ARMO. It's
okay.
Manufacturers that makes the parts to put your cars to get them running again.
Got you. Okay, I never knew. I never knew that.
Yeah, we got like 227 companies, different companies, and I mean, and it's not just manufacturers. They're builders, they're car clubs, things like that. And you could be a part of it. I mean, you're part of SEMA. You could be a part of that. You're invited to all the functions like the mixers, the educational seminars. We always host a huge builders panel out there in SEMA.
Yeah.
Every quarterly meetings and those things. They range from, supply chain issues to as you as a company, how to manage your social media stuff, things like that. So
got you. Yes. And I knew that they had, the seminars and all that, but I didn't know. And the only reason why I know that they have the seminars is because of the school, because they have, whenever we would take the students from the school, they would go to a lot of the seminars that, they were told they'd have to go to so many of them. That's why that was the whole point of bringing them. You know what I mean? Yes. And then they could go wander around the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I didn't know that. So then, okay. So you have ARMO, you have SEMA. SEMA's the big organization, and then you have ARMO under that, and then you have Apex also, right? What's Apex in relationship to the other two?
Man, I've been to Apex like one time. I mean, I've been to SEMA like really like 20.
Me too.
25 years.
Same with us. Same with
all chemicals.
Randall, but you're the chairman of ARMO, so you should know this.
Apex is all.
We know you know carpets
of SEMA. I really don't think they're a whole separate organization.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. If I'm not mistaken, because I mean, all right. So when I'm on a call with SEMA and they're talking about it, they always say Apex has their own rules and stuff like that. So
the bylaws are different. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a different
really,
organization.
I mean, I've really walked through that show one time in all these years. I mean, and that was only like about 3 hours of it. And I'm like, yeah, this is not the place for me. You know.
I mean, I know it's all overseas stuff, but I always thought that it was. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
Randall, when we're on talking about SEMA, a lot of guys are, I'm going, I'm not going, I'm in, I'm out. It's it's one or the other. It's never, I'm thinking about it. But we heard that GM, Ford, and Chrysler, I think, backed out this year. And last year it was thin because of the amount of people that, the mass, they were telling people you only could have 30 people in your booth at a time. You had to have credentials. They were talking boosters when Vegas wasn't that way. That wasn't a Vegas rule. That was a SEMA rule. And then at the last minute, they, from what I hear, they pulled all that back. So guys were confused as to what are the rules. But with that being the precedent of, the big guys dropping out, what do you think the future is of SEMA? And is there talks of it being open to the public?
Okay. So first off, Mopar did not pull out any kind of Chrysler stuff. They had taken the GM booth. All
okay.
Right? Ford and GM. All right. So I don't know. All right. If I get in trouble, I don't give a rat's ass. So, all right. So first off, Mopar, they're going to take the old GM booth. And y'all been to the big GM booth?
Yeah, the center, right in the middle.
We set up at.
Yeah.
There's other OEMs that stepped in, like I think they were Toyota, Lexus, people like that have increased their booth space. Ford and GM supposedly have already been in talks, like, can we get our places back for next year? What we heard was and all this is just rumor, and I don't like doing off rumor, but since I don't have a direct line to Ford or GM, that's what I do. Is that they're already talking about wanting their space back for next year, and they wanted to get a good, solid message for their EV products that they're putting out. And so whether that's true or not, that's not for me to say or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm the electric vehicle, they're forcing that down our throat. If it was such a good idea, people would be wanting it themselves. You wouldn't have to manipulate the market to make that happen. Two, and we've talked about this in the past, the grid can't support everybody plugging their car in at night.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. They got blackouts in California already when you turn your air conditioner below 78.
Yeah.
So that's not going to fly. Also, with the electric, it's not really electric out of thin air. It's coal or something else that's generating the electric. And it gets me because when we were kids, I think you're a little younger than me and Lou, but we were kids, they always told you.
Randall's as old as us.
Is he?
I'm just a good-looking son of a bitch.
There you go. There you go. But when we were kids, they told you not to eat too much tuna because there was mercury in the tuna. And the reason the tuna was contaminated is because the electrical power plants were on the water forever. They built to be able to keep things cool. So they were sucking the water out of the local rivers. So it's contaminating the area just in a different way. They're like, oh, but we're getting rid of fossil fuels. No, you're not. It's complete bullshit. Ever since we were kids, solar panels, this is the future. Get them on your house. The discounts, tax breaks. This shit ain't flying.
With the government just throwing money at these companies, just like anything. It's like, hey, look at this, how much money I've gave to these EV companies, these different ones. I mean, how would you like to be in Florida right now?
Trying to get out.
Let me plug. What am I going to plug it into?
I mean, I know that they're here to stay, but I don't. They got to get everything set up in order for it to work like it needs to work, and they're not doing that. They're putting the horse before. They're putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah,
that's what I see. And I mean, don't get me wrong. The EV cars, they move out. I got to drive a Tesla, and it moves out. It's no joke.
It's like a golf cart.
It's not for me. It's just one of those.
No, because if you got to go 500, 600 miles, what are you going to do? Sit for 6 hours and recharge the thing while you're eating dinner for the third time?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do? How do you do that? Unless you could slide the battery out, put a new one in, and then when the battery's junk, because I know my cell phone doesn't hold a charge like it did when it was new. 3 years in, you're like, oh, it's a piece of shit. So what do you do with the battery at that point? You upgrade, and then what? Somebody has to trash the thing.
And these freaking batteries cost $20,000, $25,000. So it's like buying a whole new damn new car, But,
it doesn't make any sense. I know there's no maintenance and all that, but they're forcing it. That's the whole thing. They're forcing it to think that everything's green and everything's clean.
That's okay. Biden will fix everything. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So you just got to sit there and wait. So it'll be
good. So okay. So you got to stop and think of it like this. Yeah. It's just a bigger opportunity for us to build gas-powered cars and go faster. That's all. That's how you got to look at it. I mean, really. It's just the way it is, It's
going to be like Mad Max. You can't get gas. We're going to be siphoning it out of the bottom of the tank at the gas station, whatever's left over, because it's abandoned.
Not, John. It's not going to be like that, because you're just going to move down here to the south, and we're going to make moonshine and run our cars on shine, and they're still going to run cleaner. So we're okay. Don't worry. I'll get the recipe figured out. I got a couple guys.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Randall lives in Georgia. I'm sure he knows someone that can help us out with the recipe.
He's drinking it now. Who you shitting?
You already got like 5. All right. So you got like California, New Jersey, North Carolina, New York. Those are states already wanting to ban all gas-powered vehicles.
Yeah.
Know, with GM saying, by 2035, we're not producing any more gas-powered vehicles, which I think that's a damn feel-good story right there. There's no way. I mean, if they want to stay in business, there's no damn way.
Well, GM's underwater anyway. Yeah. They're underwater already anyway. I mean, my thing, here's my thing. You got to have the infrastructure in order to make it work, and they're not doing the infrastructure. That's going to be the biggest problem. And until they do that, they're not going to be. They can't build all these cars, because, like John has said this before. What about all these people in New York that live in apartments? Where are they going to charge their cars at? They don't have garages.
How are you going to keep somebody from unplugging it and going, oh, it's in my car until 6 a.m. before you wake up? Then I'll put it back in your car and go, what happened? My car didn't charge overnight. Yeah, I stole all your electricity.
Stop and think about this. All those cords are copper. You know what's going to happen, right? Some people are going to walk around taking all the damn cords, stripping it out, and selling the copper. That's what's going to happen.
Those meth heads are going to be so damn happy with all that copper going out.
Exactly.
It is. Plus, it's just a pure. So I got lucky enough. I'm all right. I am fortunate in my thing where I know a lot of people, and I was fortunate enough to go to Ohio a few weeks ago, and I had dinner with the CEO of Jags.
Right.
And after a couple of cocktails, he got to talk to me, and he's literally the smartest guy I have ever known in my life. Brian Rowland is the guy's name. You ought to sit down and talk to him. And he's not exactly right wing. He's just a great guy, though. Really good guy. But he just stated it so perfectly. It's the pure. He's like, I'm all for electric if we can figure out how to do it without killing the damn planet too. Because if you just look at that, it's just like we're raping the earth one after the other. It's just like. I was sitting there listening to him, and I take a lot of stock in what he says because, like I said, he's the smartest guy I've ever met in my damn life, right there. But just the rape of the earth, also, not to be a tree hugger or anything like that. Geez, man, you saw those mines, what they're doing.
Oh yeah, but see, that's the thing. They don't. I was reading a piece today where this guy he's something to do with the mining part of it. He said that there is not enough lithium in the world to do what we want to do. There's just not enough. Yeah. So how can you say that this is saving the earth? And you got to strip mine it. So you're going to build a big hole in the ground. No one fills them up. They just make them pools. I've never seen a strip mining hole filled in. It's crazy.
China's got that covered. And China's building the parts for our electrical grid. So what do you think is going to happen down the road?
Yeah.
Shut off everybody's power, shut off their cars, shut off your phone. The other thing is too, you can't pull the battery out of your phone like you used to be able to do. So when you're in your car, it's going to be like Alexa. Everything you say, do, where you go, it's going to be covered. They can actually program the Tesla to open up your garage door because you have already the button. It'll open itself, let itself out, and drive itself to wherever it wants to go. Going, you don't have a car anymore. Skip a payment, be late. See you later. It'll take off on its own.
I just don't
so
like
that's the future. It's control.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like giving up control because, I mean, not to be paranoid or not. What is that book? 1988?
1984.
1984. Not to be like that, 88. They're like, yeah, but I don't know, man. It's just like the government can do whatever they want to do. Push a button. All right, satellites off. All right, can't crack your car because your social credit score wasn't proper enough. All right. You said, Lou, you said something bad. John, you said something bad.
We say it all the time.
We are so screwed.
5 more times than you're allowed to. I don't know if it's going to ever come to that or not, but I just don't like opening up that.
I was telling you before the show, YouTube has already done that to us, pulling the John Schneider down, because I actually think it's because at the beginning of the show, I was telling the story where I met John Schneider at Barrett-Jackson. And I turned to him and I said, listen, he's really a handsome guy in person. And I said, listen, I'm not a homo. I'm just telling you, you're a handsome guy. And he came on and he goes, that used to be a word you couldn't say. Well, I think somebody saw that part, got their feelings hurt, got a hold of YouTube, took it down. The other thing is, if you watch our videos on YouTube, this is running live. It's on YouTube now.
Yeah.
But if you watch it a later time, everything's transcribed.
There he is, honey boy.
Yeah. Ken must be bored. He's trying to squeeze one out on old pictures of me. I don't know. So anyhow, I don't even know what the hell I was saying at this point. Really.
I don't know, something about you're not gay, but if you
so they pulled down the video. They pulled down the video because somebody's feelings were hurt because I said I'm not a homo or whatever I said, and he was laughing at it. But yeah, talk about homos with what he's getting at. That was like 1983 or 4.
Yeah.
That shit was in. Those socks were in. Those shorts were in. Yeah.
I like that. that. All right, I got. All right, so you wanted to ask what ARMO?
Yeah. What's the acronym? What's it stand for again?
All right, it's Automotive Restoration Market Organization. All right. So, y'all coming to SEMA?
Maybe.
I've been following the flights. It bounced up to 2,500 coach yesterday, bounced back down to 1,500 today. It still ain't worth 1,500 to me. Yeah. That's American Airlines from Philly. Direct flight, nonstop.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
If it was first class and they gave me a lick and a promise, maybe I'd jump on for 2,500. But that seems like a lot of. They're taking advantage of the fuel prices. Fuel prices are down. But by Christmas, I tell you, gas is going to be $5 a gallon.
Yeah. Well, you saw they already jumped up the past couple of days. I mean, in my area, it was below $3, and now it's well above $3 in the past 2 days.
It went up 40 cents today around here.
I'm sorry, how much?
It went up 40 cents today here.
Yeah. Well, that's two things.
This morning it was 40 cents cheaper this morning.
OPEC said they're cutting back
2 million barrels a day,
and Biden is no longer releasing the reserves.
Yeah.
So he flooded the market to bring the number down. Now the number is going to go back up. So you're going to see $5 a gallon by the first of the year, which means inflation is going to go running up because it's going to take a bunch more money to ship bananas from Mexico up to here.
Yeah.
It's going to be out of control. It's going to be a madhouse. But he did that just so it planned right before the election. So people are like, yeah, look, it's only $3.50 a gallon. Yeah, okay.
But it's going up already, so they're going to work.
Randall, let's talk about the pact, because there is people out there, there's congressmen, senators that are trying to make it illegal for you to even work on your own car, customize your own car. Just like, who did we have? We had the Superfly from England. I think and they said it was illegal to mess with your own car, even though they did and drove it on the road. They couldn't legally get it licensed and passed because of the modifications.
Yeah.
And here they're trying to do the same thing where you can't touch, do whatever to your own car. Part of that may be what we were just talking about. If you start to disconnect the microphone, the censoring, the tracking, and everything else in your car, that may be where they're headed, thinking we know the future, you don't. It's not just customizing, changing exhaust on a car, put new carpets in it. It's the fact that you're going to be able to change the computer. So maybe that's the issue. But the pack from SEMA, are you involved in any part of that where they're trying to keep the regulation at bay?
So I hear all the thing about, it's called the RPM Act. You know, SEMA has a constant presence, a lobby out in Washington, right? Constantly. You know, that's where part of your money goes to out there all the time. I think his name is Dave Gooch or something like that. You know, and perhaps again, I probably butchered his last name or something like that. Very smart guy. I met him though. But the RPM Act is supposed to be helping to protect our right to modify these cars, because and it all started with the Clean Air Act. If my memory serves me correct, it was all started back in the Clean Air Act, and the language in that was where, you know, if you interpret it a certain way, then you wasn't going to be able to do anything extra to your car. You wasn't ever going to be able to put on the aftermarket anything and race with it or anything like that, or take any of those race cars and bring them back onto the street or anything like that. So, I mean, you know, if you go to SEMA's website, they'll have a ton of information on it right there.
What do you think the motivation is for them to implement that? Because every time that they say we have this in our hand and we're thinking about doing it, there's something that's in this hand that'll make it go away.
Yeah.
And it's leverage in the politician's mind. So who is trying to push the fact that you can't touch your car? And
EPA.
why would they be looking at that?
It's the EPA. And it's all about the people that don't want cars, don't want gas, and, you know, that want us to go, you know, like
super green.
Like you said, hey, we're going to all be driving Priuses and Teslas around, you know, and there's going to be like 5 cars out on the road shuffling people around. You know, it's a crazy world we live in right now. It's an absolutely crazy world. I mean, it's actually a battle right now because all of us, I mean, we all get paid. We all have houses. We all support our kids on selling product for cars.
Right. Yeah.
You know, think about it. I think
billions.
Your standard car that comes off the lot, never being able to do anything to it whatsoever. Never having to take it to a facility to change the oil. Yeah, I mean, if you've never been able to do anything to it other than what's in the OEMs, it's like, you know, it's that right there.
That's crazy.
It sounds like bullshit to me.
Yeah, it's crazy because you got, you know, you stop and think about it. These people want to change everything, and they're look at all the people they're going to put out of business just in the automotive world. Not even just the aftermarket world. Look at all the people that they're gonna hurt by making it that way. Yeah. I was told, I don't know how true this is, but the governor in New York made it where as soon as she got in, she's no more modified exhaust. You can't modify the exhaust. I don't know how true that is, but I mean, just think about that. That's crazy.
Man, you got a bunch of Karens out there that you know, no loud noises. You know, look at all the raceways and racetracks and speedways and everything that's been closed down around all these communities right there.
Yeah, look at Englishtown. Englishtown is gone.
Exactly.
You know, and I remember as a kid going out to Englishtown, and there was nobody around there. Nobody. Now there's houses up all over the place, and we don't like the noise. Why would you buy a house by a drag strip? Why would you allow houses to be built at a drag strip?
Yeah. Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
How much that drag strip is worth right now because that community popped up around it, and they have more money to develop inside of that.
Well, that's that. You know, when I first moved down here, there was this house. There was these people bought this house down in Charlotte, and it was right under the flight path of the planes coming into Charlotte Airport. They buy the house, and then they bitch to the city of Charlotte that it's too noisy. You bought a house by the airport.
You know, like,
shut it down. Shut it down now.
It's crazy.
It's amazing what makes people tick and what they think and what normal is to them.
Yeah.
You know, what they're complaining about and not having a real problem. That's their problem.
Yes.
And change the world so it revolves around me. Did you see the national debt just rolled over $31 trillion today? It's $245,000 per person that pays taxes. Each taxpayer is in debt nearly $250,000. For every person, it's like 90 grand. Every living person, child, everybody is born with $90,000 worth of debt.
Jeez.
They said for every 4 people that are born in the U.S., there's 3 people coming across the border illegally. I don't know how you justify that. You know how much China owes in debt? Yeah, nothing. They don't owe anybody anything, but other countries owe China money. $31 trillion, and he's spending it like here, who wants it? And the thing that got me today is the bill they're screaming Republicans didn't pass because they were trying to give money to Florida to recover. And some of the politicians in Florida said, we're not having it. And then they jumped their ass like, you don't even want to help your own people. But the thing is, there was $12 billion to go to the Ukraine and like $3 billion going to Florida. It was like a lopsided amount. And why the hell are we spending and taking so much money and giving it to the Ukraine? And the other thing that Lou and I were talking about, and I'm going to rant here, but I'm just going to do it. When we were kids, you would have Barbara Walters sitting down with Putin going, here, explain your side of the story. It would go over the airwaves free, and you'd be able to see what this guy was saying, thinking, and doing. She'd be right. She sat with Castro. She sat with Gaddafi. She sat with everybody. If she could have did it with Hitler, she would have sat with Hitler and said, what's the deal?
Yeah.
You don't have anybody today, and you don't hear Putin's voice of why are you doing this? What's going on? Lou, go ahead. What?
I have the perfect solution for that, John. I was going to say this earlier.
What is it?
I'm going on the record right now, and I'm going to say, President Putin, if we want to hear your side of the story. If you want, we will negotiate the peace terms with you and everybody else that needs to be in this party. Me and John will do it. We will do it. We will talk. We will, because you know what? Think about it. We got skin in the game. Why not?
You want to interview Putin?
Exactly what you were saying. Why not?
You don't hear, like, if you ask the question is, what's this war about? They're like, territory. It's about minerals. It's about, come on now. Putin is not a dumb guy. He's not somebody that blew a gasket this past week, past month. No. I saw a video online, and they shut the videos down of him doing speeches explaining what, how, and who. Part of his thing was trying to keep the liberal mentality from penetrating Russia. And if you were to get into he talks about the marriage, he talks about the basic principles of men and women and all these other genders and what people are trying to do in the outside world. He also is upset that they're trying to reduce the population of the planet. And he's against everybody that's trying to do that. I'm actually post the video. I'm going to put it on your page. Garage Insider of Putin giving the speech to his people, explaining what he's thinking and what his ass is up about. He doesn't get into the Ukraine and fighting just Ukraine. But there's more to this because it's all back to him. Oh, he's a great guy. Oh, and we're sending him $50 billion. And 3 years ago, Biden's touting, oh, you're not getting your million unless you fire the prosecutor. So what is 30 or 40 billion getting you?
Yeah.
10% to the big guy. It's a kickback. It's they were saying it's the most corrupt country in the world. Yeah. We keep sending them money. Go ahead. Here. And blowing up their fuel line.
Yeah, you just saw a little chat about pinball or something like that. Something like that. It said money laundering. Oh, it's money laundering. Yeah,
it
right
is.
there. Pinball.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Because where's it going? And why would we spend so much to rebuild that country and not our own? That makes absolutely no sense when you got people here living on the street. You got people that can't eat breakfast. You know, they're just starving to death. Can't pay their bills. But you know what we'll do? Another couple billion. Yeah. Not million, not hundreds of thousands. The country is the size of Rhode Island. Cut me a break.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what it is.
Good, Lou.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, and I've said this for years.
Yeah.
They keep talking about they want this one world order, this new world order.
Yeah.
You have to have a few things in order to make it work, okay? And people are going to sit there and bitch about we're talking politics. If it comes up, we talk about it, but hear me out. You have to have a place that does all your industrial work. That's going to be China and India, right? That's where all your industrial is going to come from. All of your IT stuff will be Europe. You have to have a resort. North America is going to be the resort. Think about it. If you think about it, you could be in California in December. You could be on the beach, drive 2-3 hours and go snow skiing. You could drive 3,000 miles and not cross a border. You see all this fantastic country. You want to go up to the woods, you can go up to Canada. You want to go down to more beaches, you go down to Mexico. They got to bankrupt Canada and they got to bankrupt us because they don't want Mexico overnight to become millionaires. So they're going to bankrupt everybody, and then they get what they want. That's what they're going to do. We're going to be the resort.
I don't understand the logic of kids going, I went to college, give me $10,000 free college tuition, and then you got $250,000 worth of debt right behind you going, yeah, we'll just put it on your tab.
Yeah.
We'll split it up on everybody's tab. Now it's $300,000, $400,000. At what point do you say to yourself, you can't pay your bill? Because if you raise interest rates, you have this out of control spending where the debt is at an all-time high, you can't even make the payment. That's simple math. Yeah. You got so much coming in, but you're spending so much and you're raising their interest rates are going up too. The government's interest rates, that's where it starts on their bonds. You start clicking that up, they have to pay more to borrow money.
Yeah.
At 8 or 9%, you can't make your payments. So the only thing you could say is, hey, if you're working 60%, 70%, 80%, why go to work? We're just going to borrow more money and give it to the people that are not. Where's the motivation there? Where's the incentive? And if you think you're going to get it out of the billionaires, even if you took every dime the billionaire trillionaires have, it's not going to pay. It's not enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not enough to pay anything at $31 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
Nobody's paying it down. It's never going down. Government doesn't want to stop spending. It's pretty crazy. It's actually, you sit there and say, I feel bad for the kids that are 17, 15 years old going, yeah, future's bright.
Jesus. Yeah.
Something drastic has to happen to make that come together.
That's why you guys got to get me in touch with Dan Short so I can go to his little preppers retreat.
And Dan's got it together. He's freeze dried. He's got goats. I told him I wanted a pig. You get a pig off him. He's got it.
Did you go get it?
I didn't, but that's the place to run to if something happens. Give him a yell.
Will be a good asset, I promise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Joe Rogan was talking about that, setting up a camp in Texas, buying a big piece of property and having all his family and friends stay there if something goes crazy. Yeah. So he's thinking the same way. With the food, the whole thing. But somebody's got to be on guard, because if people are screaming and dying and starving on the outside of that wall, they're going to try to come in and take, whatever is needed to feed their family.
Yeah. What would you do to feed your family?
Exactly.
80 shit going on.
Yeah. There's no stopping you.
Yeah.
It's like, it's do or die.
I'm with you, my friend. I'm with you. Yeah.
And people think, no, that's so far off. You know what? Bare shelves. You think, no, that's some other country. That's Russia. That's not here. There's bare shelves at Walmart near me.
Yeah.
Where things, it's just not there. So we're like a half click away from having a bigger issue than we really think. It's sad, but it's the truth.
Yeah. Got to keep the perimeter clear. Just remember that.
That's it.
Buy your ammo.
Got to keep the perimeter clear.
Right, buy your ammo.
Remember, you always use ammo. You always have a weapon at the ammo's in the theater. 7.62, 9mm, and 5.56. That's all you got to remember.
Don't get the exotic stuff because you'll never find it.
You don't need none of that exotic stuff. You don't need none of that.
Cool, but it ain't cool. Yeah. So.
Randall, just out of curiosity, what do you drive?
No, I drive a Z71. Like a what year is it? 2000. 2020 Z71.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's my company vehicle, like thing. So I'm actually in the market for an '86 Jeep for my son. My youngest son is 7 years old, and I want to buy a Jeep, but like a fixer upper too. So he and I can fix it up together, and that'd be his first vehicle.
Why an '86?
I wanted when I was young.
Oh,
yeah.
They're expensive no matter what. They're big money.
Kidding, man. No kidding. Which I'm glad I did not get it, because I was a total tool when I was 16 years old. Well, so my dad picked me up from school, and when I was in high school, and he brought me back home, and he's like, "Hey, I got something for you at home," and I was just turned 16 years old, and he brought me, and in the driveway, and I always thought when I got 16, I was gonna. It was an '84 Renegade, Jeep. And and that's what he had. He had an extra vehicle, and that's what he drove on the weekends and stuff like that. And I thought, oh man, he's gonna give me that Jeep. And I pulled up, and it was like an '84 Ford Ranger. And I was like, I just looked at him, and I was a total tool. I was like, are you kidding me? I don't get the Jeep. And he bought me a truck, but I was not being a nice guy. And now I feel bad at it. Now that I'm 51 years old, I look back, I'm like, man, I wasn't, so, but
it's all relative.
Like, now, and he just looked at me and said, no, you're not getting my Jeep. I love it. It's not that much.
So. Right.
Yeah. God.
Do you got any play vehicles, anything on the side, or you just got the truck? And the other question I have
I just lost my ass on a big tractor, so I ain't buying anything for a little while. So
you got to commute every day. You working from home?
No, so I go down the office. I'm on the road a whole lot. I go to all the car shows, Charlotte's, Pigeon Forge, all the shows up there, the Carlisles, and I travel because my territory is all the way out from California to South Carolina, and then I go up to New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania.
Your territory is the Great 48, is what it is.
Yeah, right.
I travel quite a bit. My wife and her boyfriend are very happy that I'm
hey, keep it fair, will you? Keep it fair.
but the Hens and the Hiltons are not so, like, hey, yes, a breakfast in the morning, I got it. I know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know how it is. I'm coin operated. That's what it is. So
where are you headed next? What's on the route between now and Christmas? Where are you going? Anywhere good?
No. So like next week, I'm going through Tennessee. I'm going to go see everybody through Tennessee. Then after that, it's SEMA. I'm going to try to stay here because it is hunting season here in Georgia. So I am. I do like hunting. I'm going to be doing some of that. I hunt with Original Parts Group.
OPG.
I hunt with a guy, Scott Ham. So he and I are going to do some hunting together this year, and then I got SEMA, and that's it.
What's the deal with the best bologna sandwich ever?
All right, I didn't even see that down there.
Corey Reuter. You must know Corey.
He actually works for Jegs, and so I stayed up in Ohio when I went inside. So the next night, I stayed up in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. And Corey Reuter and his lovely wife Tony, she's awesome. We went to a town that had one red light in it. I don't even know if it was red light. It might just be one of the damn blinking ones that said, caution.
Slow down.
Yeah. And the place did not. Went to a restaurant, probably the only damn restaurant in town, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was bologna sandwich. Bologna this, bologna that, something like that. They only took cash. And it was awesome. It was a bologna sandwich, and I thought, shit, this is all right, man.
You got to do it good.
So bitch around here. Let's get the cop, and follow them around because they don't look like they're from around here.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny. Jeez.
You guys got a booth set up at SEMA? I guess you do, right?
Oh yeah, right there in Central Hall. It's Auto Custom Carpet. It's pretty cool. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention, we was talking about the RPM Act and SEMA and stuff. So SEMA started something this year. It's called the individual SEMA membership. It's only $40. All right. So, and that money goes towards the RPM Act. And, it goes towards the lobbying. It's to help protect our industry, our livelihoods, actually.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. All right, so Randall, when Ken does this, he means this. He's telling us that we need to get off the damn
I still got
screen.
drink left though.
I know. How much of the Knob Creek did you get down? Because I'm
let's see. Let's see. I'm right here. That's a little bit. I was trying to get down to about here.
God.
This is
So before we go, John. A few years ago, I'm at SEMA, right? And I'm walking around, and I meet Randall.
I was going to ask you, how do you know Randall? He seems like a nice guy. I don't get the connection.
Well, this is what happened. I'm walking around with my friend Vinny, right?
Vinny,
He's also retired Navy.
There you go.
Exactly. So Randall flags me down. We start talking, right? And I was wearing a lanyard that said United States Marine Corps, and he asked me, and he knew I wasn't. He knew I wasn't a Marine, so I gave him the lanyard because he's a crayon.
You gave it to Randall.
Right? I gave it to him. I gave it to Randall.
Yeah, there you go.
So we started talking, and we were both on the same Westpacks together. The Western Pacific Cruise. It's the Gator Navy. They do beach landings. When they go out, they take the MEF, the Marine Expeditionary Force. So it's what, 5,000 guys, 6,000 guys?
A lot of Marines,
It's a lot of damn Marines. So you go to Hawaii, Korea, Singapore, Australia, Malaysia. You go to all these places. And Randall was on the same cruise as me. Was it two of them or one of them?
Well, we had found out that we were serving in Cuba about the same time because I did some time down in Cuba. Also, he was that guy that was the bologna sandwich that introduced us that works at Jegs. Because and we had did some time at Cuba together, and he was in the Navy, I was in the Marines, and we had treaded a lot of the same ground.
Same thing. And even Vinny had been places where Randall was at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's just really weird, the whole military thing, how we And then Eric was in the MEU. He's another
Eric's going to come out when you come out. So you got to confirm the 20th because he's going to drive from New Mexico to come out and help with the Cheech and Chong car.
Randall can come out too. He can be in the
he could put on a company dime.
Yeah.
He can cash. He goes to the Northeast. He can come see us.
I could do that.
I just bought carpet. I told him what did you see at Carlisle? Did you go through the corral?
I did. Did
you see that green looking 58 Chevy truck sitting next to the 64 Impala convertible?
I did. I did.
Yeah, that thing was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yes. They were wanting some. I mean, I saw that. Did you see that red C10 that was out there? That it was really bright red. It was jacked up, stuff like that. And they wanted a freaking outrageous amount. Yeah. I was looking at those trucks too. I was looking at all the trucks, and I was like, Jesus Christ! And then that one, what was it? Some Mopar or something like that. 135,000 or something like that. I don't remember what it was. And it wouldn't even real. It was just I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. If Lou were to put his trucks together, he's probably got $300,000 worth of trucks, especially with his name on it.
There you go.
People would give him the parts to put them together. He wouldn't even need a budget.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm thinning the herd. I'm getting there. Damn it.
Now you gotta do it now.
Yeah.
But Eric's gonna drive across the country, sleep in his vehicle to be here to help out.
Yeah.
Bubba from last week, he said he may come up. Terry from last week said he may come down because he's out of North Jersey.
There you go.
Coyote for the Impala. No, I'm 6'2", and I'm thinking about putting a supercharger on it. I just talked to a guy about the LSA supercharger.
Nice.
Someone started making the hats or something for the LSA superchargers.
There's a couple people that make the lids. Yeah.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, Tori was going through it today. I can't remember who he was talking about. So
I saw it on Instagram. I think it was. Yeah. All right, look, let's get out of here. Ken wants to get out of here. So Randall, tell everybody where they can get a hold of ACC Carpets, all the information, all that stuff. Tell them what to do.
Go to ACC Mats or call our representatives, and they'll direct you in the way they need to go. Go to SEMA, You can look at all the RPM Act. You can go to ARMO. If you're out of SEMA, come by the ARMO banquet. We're having a 70s theme out there, so everybody's going to be dressed up in tie-dye, free drinks.
Hold on. I got my 70s wig right here.
Oh.
Wait there, I got my 70s Elvis glasses.
John, that was awesome. I like it, brother.
Ken's gonna screenshot that. I'll see this next week.
That's great.
So tell me about it's a 70s what?
It's a banquet out there, so we're gonna have some free food, free drinks.
Oh,
come on
shit.
out. We'd love to have you guys.
You gonna get us in there? You gonna get us in there?
Yeah, come on out, man. I'd love to have you. I would love to.
Should go. We really should go. I should bite the bullet and pay the $2,000 some for the airfare and go.
Yes.
Just bite the bullet.
I think it's going to be a good SEMA show. I really do. I think it's good. Hey, we're 30 to 35% up over last year, and the registration, and we're over 1 million square foot space already rented for SEMA.
That's good.
Wow.
That's good.
It's some walking. It's big for people that have not been there. I know it's on some people's bucket list to go, and they only, if you do, you're outside. But Lou, we should go check out Steve Darnell. He always has an open house because he's in Vegas.
Yep.
Drag Randall with us.
Yeah, we can do that. Randall will hang. I know he will.
I'm with you, man.
They got some barbecue. Last time he had barbecue, he took Lewis Lee. Who'd you take last time?
Lewis Lee went and Ray went, I think. There was a bunch of us.
Yeah, it didn't hit me. Didn't hit me. He thought of me last. So yeah. I didn't go.
You weren't there.
I'm sitting there like this going, is Luke all?
You weren't there. You weren't there.
Talking out your ass now.
we were riding around in this Escalade with a dude named Taco.
There you go. That sounds like fun.
That sounds like a
so we had a couple Mexicans, a couple black guys, a couple Puerto Ricans. We were like a serious crime spree waiting to happen. We just had nowhere to go.
How many outstanding warrants? How many outstanding warrants?
We even had a white guy. So no one can call us racist.
There you go.
But Taco was driving.
That's great.
Yeah, that sounds like a problem.
Yeah. All right, so John, Randall, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate
it's the third time Ken's went to the screen, so we got to finish. We got to wrap this up.
Money's on the dresser, Money's on the dresser. Thanks, Randall.
All right, John. There you go. See, that wasn't that bad.
No, what do you mean that bad?
I knew nothing about ARMO. I knew nothing about that. It was worth the trip just for that.
We should go to SEMA just for Linda keeps asking me, "You going? What are you doing?" I don't know what I'm doing. I never know what I'm doing. I got a list this long of shit I need to do on this Impala before the snow starts falling.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I got to get it cracking. Otherwise, I'll be chipping away at it in spring.
Yeah, when you should be driving it.
I should be, and it should be pretty awesome when it's done.
Yeah.
That thing should launch.
Yeah.
I need help figuring out what size tire I can throw in the back of that thing to get some meat under it. So when you're up here, we got to figure that out so I can order wheels.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah. It's stock length on the axle with the Moser.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. I'll get that center section done. We'll be rocking.
Hotchkiss, get a hold of the Wikipedia guy.
Yeah, he actually gave me.
Did he email you?
The guy that I told you about who does the valve train stuff.
Yeah.
And a guy from Heights. He's funneling some people towards us, so we can. Yeah, we got people.
Share the dude's info so we can get what he needs. So because there's no sense giving it away if they're going to come on and sponsor the show.
Yeah. We'll do it. We'll make it happen. I'm going to call him tomorrow. I'm going to call him.
Yeah, if we want 23, we got to get sponsors because we're running on baloney skins here. But
I know
sponsorship.
I know. Gotta make it happen. All right. Say goodnight. All right, we're out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know it wandered around everywhere, but it's all good in the hood. And my screen is flashing like a strobe light. It's really crazy. Next week, just tune in next week. I'm getting flashing lights. I'm getting ready to have an epileptic seizure. So you guys have a good one. Keep it between the lanes. Later.